Alright, welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Viva Ramble. I'm here with Lucas Molina, and he's going to talk about his game, Painters Guild, and he's also going to tell us about himself. Lucas is from Brazil, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And he's developed this awesome game called Painters Guild, where you manage like a Painters Guild. I guess it's really the only way to say it. It's pretty self-explanatory. But Lucas, if you want to talk about your game and just give us a down low, I recently played the alpha, which is a lot of fun, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more content and more from that. But if you want to tell the viewers who are not previously informed what your game's all about.
Right. First of all, hello. So Painters Guild is a game I'm making, and it's about really managing an art academy in the Renaissance. So it's a historical game. You have these little artists that can make paintings for patrons that request them. And so you make the paintings, sell them, you can buy more furniture for your guild and stuff. And right now the game isn't done, so if you play the alpha at our site, which is guildofpainters.com, it's not complete, but it has some of the features to show to who wants to play.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'll put the links below in the video description, and everyone should give that a play. I mean, the alpha, it might take about 10 minutes, I guess. I mean, that's about what my first playthrough was. It's like 10 minutes.
If you lose, yes. If you win, it's 20 minutes.
20 minutes all the way, yeah. So I mean, and there's lots of things that can happen. I know that there at the end there's like some goals also that you can fulfill, which every time I played I never fulfilled any of the goals.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic, I know. But my friend did. He one of the goals was like surpass Verrocchio, I think.
Yes.
And as soon as he did that, Verrocchio quit.
Yeah.
So I mean that's exciting because it. I think it implies that there might be some more like there's like dynamics and things that are going to be going on in the guild probably.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
The idea is basically to let the player play with history, so it's not. I'm not feeding the player with historical facts. He just has these guidelines, these historical systems, and he can make history different with the systems.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, that's a really good point because in the game you'll get like messages and things, and they'll give you like little updates about what's going on in the world around you, and that usually has some kind of effect on your. Oh,
Guild.
it's a stat. It affects the stat and
Prestige.
Prestige. Okay, it was
Yes.
a P word. But what's really I really like it because there's like little nuggets of like historical things going on, and I'm just wondering like what kind of did you do like a lot of extensive research to kind of figure out the setting and all of those different things, or I mean how far did you really dig into the Renaissance kind of culture?
Yes, the research so far it has been very in-depth. So I've been reading books about the subject. So now sometimes I just check quick things on the internet like Wikipedia, but the most in-depth research is done through history books about the period. So that the idea is to get it as accurately as possible.
That's cool. Yeah, would you say that there's anything besides the little messages that you get? Like, is there going to be something else that's happening that affects gameplay, perhaps? It ties into the history of the Renaissance somehow?
Right. About the messages, the historical events so far, they just, in the alpha, they just inform you of what's going on. But the idea for the next version is that you also get some kind of choice. So the events happen, and then you can make decisions based on what's happening, and you can change the outcome of your guild
Very
by
exciting.
choosing.
Oh, yeah.
And that's for the historical events, but my idea is also that there will be emerging events that are not historical, but that could have happened and that depend on your guild. Because the historical events are external. It doesn't matter what you do. The historical events just happen in that year, that date, because that's what happened in history. But there will also be events that emerge from your actions. So it's not set that in the year X something is going to happen, but it is going to happen if you do certain things with your guilds. I'm not sure I made myself clear.
No, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, really interesting. And that excites me actually because I don't know. I get the feeling that it might be one of those games that people will just like play and just like accidentally learn about the Renaissance, which will be awesome. So that's great. So okay, a lot of questions. What really inspired you to focus on a guild, and what was it like? Did you find anything interesting about, like a painter's guild or like a craftsman's guild that just kind of was like, oh, I need to make a game about this? I'm just kind of curious how that kind of worked out. Did you want to do something in that time period, or did it just kind of everything fit together?
I guess there's two things. One is for the guild.
Yeah.
I guess I wanted a game about managing people. I think those are very interesting. A few examples. A more obvious one will be Crusader Kings 2, which is a Paradox game, and it's a historical game set in the medieval times. And there's a lot of character management, managing people, and that's something that I liked. And there's also Football Manager, which is a completely different game, but it's a game about managing people. You get these young players who are 16, 18, and you have to make sure they reach their potential. So I wanted that aspect of getting young people and trying to turn them into the best they can be.
That's cool.
So with that, there's also the historical intent, which was to make a game about the Renaissance, which is one of my favorite historical periods, and also to make a game about art. So what you had then was a shift from the guild system, which was still medieval, turning into the academy system, which was the true Renaissance system of art. So the idea is to get that period when the guilds were becoming the academies, and that's what the game shows.
Oh, cool. So, is there going to be? I'm a little. Is there going to be like some point in the game where you become an academy, or is it just going to stick with the guild?
I don't know if I'll change the word. That might be a bit confusing, but there might be a change in the systems. I'm not sure yet.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't want you to give out spoilers, but I am a little curious what some of your future plans are, expanding from what we've seen in the alpha, which is, it's all of it's pretty straightforward. I mean, you've got the paintings, the painters, the messages, some furniture, and prestige, and I think that's it. So I mean, I'm guessing there's going to be a couple of things. I mean, that I can already see you'll probably be able to hire or get more people into your guild, or probably expand the house or buy more furniture. But I mean, gameplay wise, you did mention you'll have like choices in historical events. Is there going to be some other things that you'll be able to kind of have to deal with while you're doing the whole guild thing? I mean, like, is there going to be more furniture or other things?
Right.
It was a very long question. I'm sorry.
No, the question was basically what's next.
Yes! You said it much better than I did. Okay, go.
So I guess for the next release, my focus is on hiring artists, and this changes the game a lot, because in the first alpha you can only control the two artists that you start with who are Leonardo da Vinci and Andrea del Verrocchio.
Yeah.
So you start with those two, and you can't hire anyone else. and it becomes about managing these two guys in the best way possible. But when you are able to hire artists, the gameplay changes very much. It's now about scouting correctly, searching for these new apprentices, and then making sure they become better artists, because the game also will increase in time span. So it was 10 years in the first alpha, and my idea for the next release is at least 100 years of gameplay in the game time,
Oh
which
my.
is over an hour. So what will happen in this 100 years is that your starting artists will die eventually, and
Wow.
you're gonna need uh, your other artists to be as good as the first ones to make sure your guild keeps going. Otherwise, you won't be able to continue doing what your patrons want and at the level that they had at first
Yeah.
with the first masters that you start with. So you need to make sure your guild continues its quality, and you need to pick your apprentices well, and you need to make sure they improve a lot. So that's one thing for the next version. That's the focus:
That's true.
hiring new artists and training them.
Mhm.
And what's next for the game overall? There's a lot of features I'd like to add. I'm not sure exactly how many of them I will be able to add, because uh, it's normal in development, I think, to features to be cut simply because they don't fit anymore with the mechanics, or
Yeah.
there's just no time to put them in.
Mhm.
But I have a lot of ideas. So as you said, the other version after this one about hiring artists will
Yeah.
focus more on the guild.
Mhm.
So as you said, you'll be able to expand the guild. It's not just that small place. You can buy more space,
Yeah.
and you can buy more furniture for it.
Yeah.
And in the future, other things I would like to focus on are the relationships between artists. So some artists might not like each other, or they may love each other. These relationships can develop.
Mm.
Also, relationships between masters and apprentices, like a mentorship system where you can put an apprentice learning from a master, and he can develop traits based on who the master is and
Yeah.
what the master can teach him.
Yeah.
And there's also the styles system, which will be already in place for the next version.
Oh,
So
cool.
the artists will paint in different styles. So the idea is you have to get two artists painting in the same style for them to paint together better. And if they paint in a different style and they work in the same painting, the painting won't be as good. It will be kind of weird because it's partly in one style and partly in another
Yeah.
style.
Okay. I mean, that's awesome. That's really cool.
There's also another feature I'd really like to add, which is crafting. And
Mm.
yeah, crafting is like every game does it, but there's an important reason that I want to add crafting, is because when your artist dies, you had a master that he was in your guild for, I don't know, 50 years, and then he dies, and then he doesn't leave anything behind. But if you have crafting, he can create items, like he can create a paintbrush or something that he can give to the apprentices, and that's a way for the player to always remember that there was this master, that he was very good, and that now he lives on through the items that he crafted and so on.
Oh, that's nice. I I thought you were gonna take that in a completely different direction. I thought we were gonna like craft things from the dead artist's bones, which was
Yeah,
terrifying.
no,
No, but yeah, that's actually beautiful. I love that. So yeah, I mean, I hope that gets in. I definitely do.
yeah.
All right, so great. Well, that's I mean, that's pretty much. I don't want to dwell too much on that one subject, but it was fantastic. So I also had this question. Everyone who's watching this and plays the alpha, they can go to your website and they can support it through Kickstarter, and I mean it's like a parody Kickstarter thing that you did on your website, I guess, where people
Yeah.
donate money. And I'm a little bit curious why. I mean, did you originally start out as a Kickstarter and then just decide to transition it back over to your site, or did you just originally start that way? And why?
Um, the idea of Kickstarter is a joke, really. You
Yeah.
can't donate money. All you can do really in that is donate Greenlight votes because the game is on Greenlight on
Hmm.
Steam, and so it really tracks the Greenlight votes for the game. And I made it well, first of all, because the Greenlight votes were really slowing down. It was starting to do poorly on
Hmm.
Greenlight. So I made that to give it a boost, maybe, help with the voting. And it worked all right. It did well enough. And another thing is just a joke on Kickstarter
Kickstarter.
because, like there are thousands and thousands of Kickstarters, and every game does a Kickstarter, and it's kind of silly.
Yeah. That's very creative. I dig it. All right, cool. So, last thing I wanted to ask about Painters Guild is like the art style and the pixel art. You've done all this yourself, correct?
The only thing I didn't do in the game is the music.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. Okay.
So the art, the programming, the design, everything else is mine.
Yeah. That's well. I mean, props to you, man. That's not a lot of people can pull all those, wear all those hats. So that's really nice.
Yeah.
So did you have to like pick up art and kind of teach yourself pixel art, or have you always kind of been an artist and a
I've
programmer?
always drawn stuff.
Mhm.
I always liked art, but I wasn't very good. And when I turned 18, I decided to get better. I got a tablet, Wacom tablets, the
Mhm.
drawing tablets, and I started painting. Every day I wanted to get better. And my initial idea was just digital painting, not really pixel art. So that's my real background in art. It's
Huh.
digital painting, which is something I did for Painters Guild. The main menu uh, image with Mona Lisa being painted. That's a painting that I did. And because I started making games, I tried pixel art, and that's not very. I don't think my pixel art is very good. At least not as good as my digital painting, even though that's not very good as well. But
Oh no!
no, I
Stop
I
it.
just work on it.
No, it's all right. I mean, it's fan. I mean, it's. I wouldn't have guessed that that it wasn't your forte. I mean, it all looks great. I mean, I'm trying to. I don't know. I don't think in pixels, and I've tried my hand at pixel art, and it's just it looks like a bloody mess. But this looks. I mean, the art style looks really clean and it's got
Well,
cute. I mean, I dig it. I
it's
dig it.
also it's very simple, and it's very simple not because I wouldn't like it to be more complex. I think it would look better if it was more complex, more pixels and stuff, more colors. But since I'm the only one working on it, it has to be very simple so I can uh, create content very quickly. Otherwise, now if I had an artist, then he could make more complex art.
Hmm.
But with just one person having to do programming and art as well, it's important to keep things efficient. So that's why the pixel art is very simple.
I mean, I think it works. It's got a very I don't know. It's a very nice, clean style, which I really like. It's I think it works for you. I is what I'm saying.
All
So,
right.
well, yeah, great. So, let's talk about you as a person. What got you into video games? What got you specifically? I mean, you already mentioned kind of briefly you're really into Renaissance and you really like person management games. So that is what got you into Painter's Guild. But what got you into video games specifically? I mean, did you play as a child and just kind of grew up with them? What?
Yeah, I've always played games since I can remember. My dad bought a computer when I was like 6 years old,
Hmm.
and that's when I started playing on the computer. But before that, I had video games as well. I had a Master System, then a Super Nintendo. So I've always played. I've always liked it. But making games, it's something that I always tried, I guess, as well.
Hmm.
When I was a lot younger, I did stuff with RPG Maker, just fooled around. So I think a lot of people did that.
Yeah.
But I couldn't really make games. It seemed like an impossible task at that point in time. Games were being made by teams or with over 50 people and so on.
Hmm.
So it wasn't really a possibility for me. I didn't see it as something that I could do. And very recently, with the more easy tools that have been released, like Game Maker, Unity, Construct 2, or Flash, which is what use.
Hmm.
They make this a lot easier, and I guess that's how I could start making games. But there's also one important factor, which was uh, I'm a student of uh, masters in history,
Hmm.
so
Wow.
I was in a class and the teacher asked us to make history public in a creative way. That was the assignment.
Ah.
So I was already working on a game, which was a historical game, simply because I like history. So I decided to merge these two things together, make the game I was making for uh, for the assignment. And that's actually what got me to complete the project, because if it wasn't for the assignment, I probably would have done like the RPG Maker projects. I would have started and never really released anything, never finished it at all. But because of these two factors, I actually didn't finish the game, but I released an alpha,
Hmm.
and I sent like one email to Rock Paper Shotgun, and that was the first game I did. So it was really weird because I just wanted it to be on the free web games thing they have every week. There are like 5 or 6 free games that are put on the site on the
Yeah.
Live Free Play Hard
Yeah.
by Porpentine. And I just wanted to be on that because it was, I guess I could make it because my game was free and it was a web game, and that's what it was about.
Hmm.
Um, but they actually featured it on its own article and they wrote about it.
That's
And I was like,
awesome.
but I'm not a game developer. I'm just did this assignment. It doesn't make any sense. So because of that, I guess I got more motivated in making games.
Hmm.
So and I also really enjoyed it. And now I honestly can't stop making games. I can't. It's impossible for me.
Yeah, that is wonderful. Oh my god. That just puts a smile on my face right there. Yeah, that's oh my god, what a great story. I love that. Oh, I mean, okay. Well, that was great. I just need to recover from that because
All
that
right.
was good. But yeah, I mean, it's such a fun game. I really look forward to playing it more. Um, I like that you're coming at this from like an artist's perspective, and it's I don't know, it feels really tactile the way you play with the game, and you can tell that there's a lot of heart put into it, which I really appreciate. I think a lot of other people will appreciate too. So, and I'm also really glad to hear that the Kickstarter is Greenlight. So, you guys, you don't have to give him any money. You just have to vote for him on Greenlight,
Yeah.
which is great. So I mean, get down there, guys, and give the guy some upvotes. You know what I'm saying? Awesome. Well, uh, I don't want to keep you for too much longer. I guess we'll just kind of transition into kind of the closing statements of the interview. And I'm just going to ask you some random questions. Because, let's see. If you were any animal, what would you be?
What a question. Uh,
I should have had these in front, like be the icebreakers, but yeah.
I'd be a human being.
You'd
It's
be
the best animal.
yeah. All right, that's cool. It's a very nice animal. Okay, what is your favorite fruit?
Banana.
Banana. Why?
I don't know. I eat it.
All right, cool. That's fair enough. All right, if you could pick any inanimate object to describe your life, what would it be?
Um,
That's a thinker
wow,
right there.
that's a hard one.
Yeah.
I really have no idea.
That one was a little abstract. I'm not really sure where I got that from. That was one that one of my teachers asked me in high school, and
What did you answer?
it was a piece of gum. I don't know. I don't remember why I said why, but I chose gum.
Okay.
I chew gum all the time. I guess that was not very creative. But anyway, okay. Well, and the very last question, which I ask every guest who I have on my show. I mean, you've definitely come at game development and game design with a really unique perspective. So I really want to know, do you have any advice or just something you'd like to say to people who are looking to get into game development themselves? Something you've learned
Um,
from all of this.
Make games. That's the first one.
Hmm.
Just make games, finish games.
Yeah.
That's the most important one. But I guess what I would like to see more maybe make different games, make unique games, make games that aren't being made by anyone. That's what Painters Guild is really. There's nobody else making a game set in the Renaissance where you manage artists. It's just me really. So, but if you take like games where you kill zombies, there are thousands of those, and I think that's why Painters Guild is doing well on Greenlight. It's in the top 30
Hmm.
now,
Yeah,
which
awesome.
was it's completely unexpected for me because everyone said no, it's not gonna do well. It looks simple with the pixel art. Your game has to be 3D. Your game has to be about killing zombies or about being a ninja. And people were completely wrong about that. If you make a game that stands out, that's very unique, you can do very well. And but it's really not about for Painter's Guild. It's not about making a game that just looks different because I want to get attention. It's about making the game that I want to make, that I wish existed, but nobody's making those. And there are lots of games that I think we could have, but we don't have because everyone is doing games about zombies and ninjas.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very true on that point. But I think that's something that really excites me about video games is there's just so much unexplored territory, which is just it's fantastic. I know this year, this 2014, I'm going to see games that I would never have imagined could have existed. And for many years to come, I will just keep. I mean, we as all game lovers will just keep seeing things that surprise us, and they're just things that we've never seen before. And I love that Painters Guild is one of those games. So that's just fantastic. Everyone, Lucas Molina, his game is Painters Guild. It's on Kickstarter, and you
Yeah.
can go there and give it a green light vote on Steam. And he's going to continue working on this game. He's going to keep growing it, and it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can play the alpha right now. Links to all of that in the description. Lucas, thank you so much for being on the show. It really was a delight just hearing the story that you have and hearing about Painters Guild. Very
Yeah, no
excited.
problem.
Yeah, very excited to see it grow. All right, so we'll continue with some more episodes the rest of this week, guys, and stay tuned for that. But we're gonna sign off for now. See ya.